People have often asked me how my checkpoint works. For operational security reasons, I'm hesitant to tell people how my checkpoint works. However, there are a couple things I'd like to share with you today. The first thing I'd like to share with you is the use of motion-activated lighting. Motion-activated lighting can be solar-powered reliably and activates when it's needed. Security that activates when needed is good for multiple reasons. One, it shows you when things are actually happening, and then two, it's better for power consumption, power management, stuff like that. And three, the modularity, adaptability, and the ability to have solar-powered resources comes into play. I don't want my property lit up like a Christmas tree if there's no activity going on outside. I want to be able to look out my windows and clearly be able to identify if there's activity going on outside. I want to bring your attention to when I get home. When I get home, you'll notice I do something strange. I forget to do it at first, but then I end up doing it. I turn around 360 to get a good view of everything behind me. I triple check that I'm not being followed. This is something I always do. I always do this 360. It's a little bit pixelated because I'm streaming straight from the camera router, so it's a little pixelated. I apologize for that, but you guys get the general picture of what I do. So when I get home, I promptly unlock the gate, and I look around one more time to make sure nobody's there, and then I cross the gate, and my first priority is to put the kickstand down, which I do quickly, and then I immediately go to make sure that the gate is closed. Closing the gate is the first priority. Making sure nobody's behind me, and if they are, they have to jump that fence to get to me. It's more energy they would have to expel. I immediately go for the cargo, the groceries that I picked up, and that's the second order of business, is getting the groceries inside. The bike is relatively secure behind the fence, so it can stay there for the time being. I then move the bike into the shed. I then move to secure the bike behind a locked shed door, making sure that that's locked. My dog is a pretty good redundant alarm system and has a different type of bark for a different type of visitor. An actual intruder, you'll get an aggressive bark, but a familiar face, you'll get a playful bark, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty common thing to see on my cameras. I see things like this all the time. They activate my motion lights all the time, and this serves as basically a test, because my motion alarms usually go off like crazy when there's this much activity going on in the yard. It usually detects multiple large animals. I have everything you can imagine passes through here. This is a regular occurrence, seeing things like this happen. Also played around with a little bit of time-lapse photography. That's fun, you know, time-lapse photography. It drains the crap out of my battery, though. I live under the assumption that an enemy of mine could come knocking any day. That's how I live. Not everybody lives like that, but if you live under the assumption that one of your enemies could come knocking any day now, then this is a good setup, this type of setup right here. And it's just something to keep in mind as society begins to break down. SHTF may be a process and not an event, okay? So already implementing these procedures could be good, because I think we're a frog in a boiling pot of water, and I think SHTF is more of a process than an event, and that's why I'm already living like this and already living with certain security procedures in place. And I don't want to detail all of my security procedures, but this is just an example of me watching my back when I come home, making sure I'm not followed, having lights to be able to identify all the dark corners of the yard and stuff like that. This is important to me. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video. Jordan Jareb signing off.